So what is the difference between burnout and stress?
It is classified as an occupational phenomenon resulting from chronic workplace stress. It's a state of severe emotional, mental, and physical exhaustion.
Welcome to the MAGC Wellness Podcast. My name is Kgao and Tshego and I am your host. Today we will be talking about work burnout. But before we get into it, I'm with my co-host.
Hi, Tshego the Black Sheep. Welcome to it.
Okay. So I know we touched on this when we were talking about stress.
Yeah.
Right? So what is the difference between burnout and stress? I think let's define burnout.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe let's start with that because I feel like the one precipitates the other.
Okay.
Okay. I want to do a World Health Organization definition. Right?
Okay.
It is classified as an occupational phenomenon resulting from chronic workplace stress. So there we have it already. So the workplace stressors will then precipitate a chronic state of fatigue. Yes. So another definition that I like, it says it's a state of severe emotional, mental, and physical exhaustion caused by prolonged, unmanaged stress.
Okay, I was actually going to ask when you read the WHO one, right? I was going to ask, can I not be burnt out from life? Just life as a whole, like, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And I'm burnt out from just existing.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a lot. We can say you're burnout from parenting.
Girl. Oh, wow.
Burnt out from teasing, but we can put it in all these boxes.
Burnout from friending.
Burnout from friending. Yeah.
Burnout from showing up for everyone all the time, not resting.
Just adulting burnout. We must actually speak to the WHO too.
I swear to update because, and I think our generation in particular, because we are part of the hustle culture.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's that whole thing of, while you're sleeping, I'm grinding.
Yes.
No guys grind.
Yeah.
Don't involve us.
You know what I thought about today driving here, right? we make this hustle culture, like you're saying, we make it such a, what's the word I'm looking for?
Like a cool thing.
Right? We prioritize looking busy, feeling busy. And I'm actually...
looking.
Yes, I'm guilty of that because I'm always like, we will rest when we die. I'm that girl.
And as you will die. The death will come quicker.
Yes, I'm always like, no, we'll rest when we die. But honestly, we're going to then find ourselves here.
I swear. And,
burnt out.
Where I work, there's, stroke patients and right?
Yeah.
I cannot tell you the amount of young people that are at hospitals because of the stroke, right? And the fact that we now have a term young stroke is wild. It means it's so common. It needs a name. You have 30-year-olds, 35-year-olds, 40-year-olds. Where back in the day, that wasn't a real thing. It used to be people, geriatrics, but now we are actually stressed out. Like we are, and it's so crazy that I've heard people saying even gym people get strokes.
Yeah.
But you also cannot work.
You cannot.
You cannot.
Yeah. And I suppose all those patients that you guys are servicing are employed.
Another example is, guys, I think we've already established now that I'm a mental health care user. So we're not gonna get into that again.
Yeah.
So, a lot of the times when I'm admitted, and I say a lot of the times, but it is less than 10 times.
Okay, so it's not a lot.
Maybe less than 5. No, it's a lot. There are a lot of people there that are there because of severe depression or burnout, but because of not necessarily the workload, but because of the people they work with.
Sure. Yes.
People that don't respect the work-life balance. Like a 10. I read that report. I've been before 8 o'clock.
Journey. Yeah. But also, I'm actually on the flip side. I actually had a conversation with a manager because I manage cases such as work burnout cases. So I had to then sit with the manager and actually explain to them that this employee is not doing it on purpose. They are not, okay, we haven't touched on the symptoms, but however, they get sick a lot. They're constantly taking sick leave and they're just very avoidant of the work that they have to do. When they are at work, they're avoiding it because where do you start? It's packed up so much that you don't know where you start. So now the manager is frustrated because the work is not getting done, but they don't understand that they have actually been diagnosed with workplace burnout, the employee that is. So the manager's like, this person is lazy. They're not showing up, However, the employee is also like, I try, but when I get here, it's so much that I'm not rested. I get here, I'm stressing. Literally, when I close my eyes, I'm thinking of work. I get to work, there's so much, I don't know what to do, I'm overwhelmed. So now I have actually, I think this is an important episode, not just for the people that are living with the burnout or are handling burnout currently, but also for employers and supervisors, managers to understand that these people are not doing it on purpose. And we must also outline the people that are just staying away from work because of other reasons.
I think as much as there's symptoms and signs,
is
it not a bit more subjective than your disorders or the things that are diagnosed that are actually on? I don't know if this is on the DSM-5.
I actually also looked at it's like
I don't know if it is.
No, I think it would be a part of like symptoms. Yes, a part of symptoms because obviously there's a lot of anxiety around workplace burnout. So
and you end up having some symptoms of depression because you don't want to do anything. You're not sleeping. You're not
depending
eating.
on when you actually intervened, because if you are aware of the signs, which a lot of employees are not. If you're aware of the signs, then you can intervene quicker. Firstly, I think the most important thing would be declaring that, look, I am not feeling all right. I'm not in the right space of mind. I feel like I'm not meeting the deadlines. Let me go see somebody.
But that might work against you. I know, guys, I work in government. Siyabonga government, because these things are taken seriously in government. Like, if you are booked off by a psychiatrist or psychologist or even like a GP, you are booked off. No one is going to say where, how, when, what. Right? You get, what is it? Incapacity leave. Right? So no one is following you because you're not okay. And if anything, I remember the last time I was admitted. So I have a very, very, very beautiful workplace. My manager's amazing. I even think my CEO is amazing, honestly. This is open to interpretation. I remember I was getting called a lot because I'm the manager of my department, right? I was being called, wards and whatnot because I have a speed dial. So they were calling my speed dial. And I called my boss and I was like, listen, I'm admitted and I have to tell people every 20 minutes. And she was like, please block the numbers.
Sure.
You'll unblock them when you come back to work. Because you cannot be working right now. Because you're not in the state to be working. So just tell them to call me or block. And I did exactly that. And I was able to, what is this? Detach from work and focus on myself. But corporate, I don't think it's very friendly to that. Because once you declare, are you not then saying or sending a message to HR? Say opportunities of growth. Rewards. Are they not then impacted?
Definitely hear you. Obviously, because you find sometimes you're literally the only person within the country that's got the skill of what you're doing for the particular company. So let's look at it like this, right? what are you going to balance now? Are you going to balance growth over your current physical and mental health? You have to pick.
Or money, not necessarily growth, money versus, because that is people actually go, I have to push because I need to make. And guys, you saw what is happening with the war and finances and everything going up. Now you're really stressing to go, oh my goodness, I don't know how I'm going to make it, through the next couple of months. And then there's a growth opportunity, but you're not okay. I know for a fact, and I know this is terrible, and don't forget, this is not medical advice. This is for educational purposes, okay? I don't know if I wouldn't, say, Carla, just chill over there. The second half, let's focus on the work. I don't know that I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, but you see how, yes, if you are in the correct state of mind, I think where you would be, even in the position to make such decisions, would be perhaps not when it's severe, maybe like moderate.
Sure.
But by the time it is severe, you don't even, there's depressive symptoms, there's anxiety. And at that point, you are not even in the state of mind to say, let me just pause whatever issues I'm having and focus on work. You don't, because even if you are focusing on the work, you're going to sit there and you're preoccupied about, am I going to finish? And 2-3 hours pass and you're literally just sitting there staring at the work.
Debilitated, basically.
Yeah, like severely decreased work performance.
Sure.
Yeah. So you're not even making those type of decisions to save money over. Yeah. Once you get to that point, that's when then the psychiatrist will then say, this person needs 3 to 6 months of leave. Take off, go and rest. However, you're very right. I think a lot of us are actually functioning at a mild, moderate burnout state.
High functioning burnout.
Yeah, we're still able to push. However, we are on the edge. Literally, one more project.
And we always,
we've
normalized, chronic fatigue so much. Yeah. Because a lot of us are tired all day, every day. Yeah. When you open your eyes, you're tired.
Exactly.
When you go to sleep, you're tired.
Yeah.
But we've normalized it to go, this is adulting. Unfortunately, you get tired.
Yeah.
And it's fine, but you have to keep pushing.
And I really don't think it should be like
that.
The coffee stations at work should not be so full so early in the morning. They shouldn't be.
And I am.
There we go.
The amount of caffeine I drink. And the thing is, again, we are using, I guess, unhealthy coping mechanisms because loading yourself with coffee is not good for your body.
No.
Or your teeth. Guys, it's not good for your teeth. I just care about teeth. Coffee stains your teeth. Red Bull and them stain your teeth. That is just information that I think you should know. And it hurts your heart.
Yeah. What's happening
your kidneys as well are having a tough time trying to filter, all of that. But if you don't drink the coffee, you're a zombie.
Yeah.
And how many times in the year can you say, manager, I'm burnt out? Because when you come back in 3 months' time, you're going back to exactly the same pressure, workload, workplace.
True.
Are you then not walking into burnout again in 4 months?
But then I think this circles back then to declaring. You go in to declare, and the manager, I want to say this louder and straight. The manager is then going to say, look, I do not know, or they might, I do not know how to handle this because it's a medical issue. The manager is not necessarily the medical person to be handling this. So refer to the occupational health space. Let them be the ones to say, okay, this person has actually been diagnosed. I'm using this loosely because we can't diagnose something that's not in the DSM. However, the psychiatrist will say this person is showing signs of burnout and recommend whatever they're recommending. Then we then deal with it from there. We're managing the case. We're saying this person, we're going to literally let go. Go sit at home for 3 months. Okay, rest it out. Don't call them. This should actually really be documented to not be called.
There should be a policy. There should be a burnout, letting the person go policy.
Yeah, do not be called. No standby, nothing. Literally just go sit at home.
And the person can't do a handover. They can't.
The person cannot do a handover.
Because you cannot come in and say, I know you burned out, I know you booked off.
But just quickly.
But handover.
Yeah.
No.
Because at this point, by the time I left, I don't even know what's going on. I cannot hand over anything.
You're not managing.
Yeah. And that's the importance of actually saying the workplace stresses come from ambiguity. Yes. Of the work. What am I expected to do? Do I have support? Do I have somebody that actually knows what I'm busy doing? So that if I drop dead, never mind even going on leave. If I drop dead today, will somebody be able to pick up tomorrow and just keep going? Because there's so much responsibility just on me, you know? Every day I wake up and I'm producing. Nobody's supporting me. Nobody knows what's going on.
Especially if you're a top performer.
Yeah.
You get 0. Because they're like, oh, but you've got this.
Yeah.
No, I do not. I do not got this. Because the honest truth is, when you're a top performer, it means you put in more into your work.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Those are the people that stay till 10 p.m. at work. You know, they will not leave until everything is done.
Yeah.
You know, they don't work their 8 hours. They work 12 hours in a day.
Yeah.
I am so sorry. I cannot. I'm not a candidate for that. But the other thing is, how do you manage your time off? Do you travel? Because if you're traveling and you're posting, hi, boom, that's it, hiya, and you're not burnt out. But you also can't stay in bed for 3 months.
Yeah.
You want to connect with yourself again. You want to pour inwards.
True.
Do I do it in my house?
No.
Or do I not
Also,
post?
you should probably not be doing it in your house.
And do I just not post because I'm being policed?
Hey, Wabana, we should have a whole new topic about posting and work. Anyway.
No, please answer that actually. Please answer that. Do I not post because I'm burnt out and say I went to Durban? Do I just not post?
Look, that one is very grey. Yeah.
Okay.
It's very great also because remember we're starting from a point of nobody understood why you have to go off. They felt like you're just lazy and you're not pulling your end of the work, right? This could in fact be somebody with influence like your manager or the colleagues. Now there is this person that is apparently sick because it's a sickness. It's coming. You came with a medical certificate, so you are ill. Right? And now
I'm fatigued. I'm tired.
And now there you are. Because I mean, if I were to be declared burnt
You'd
out,
probably still run.
I'd go to the beach and you see me there running.
But now you are connecting with yourself, guys. We need to talk about this whole. Now I must act like I am mourning.
It all comes down to awareness, really. You know, if the managers are aware that well, not even the manager, everybody needs to know that this is how we manage it. Active rest versus passive rest.
Also, I think we need to start at the level of people need to believe it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Before we go anywhere, right? People need to believe it's a...
Yeah.
You know what I was thinking actually when we were talking about handing over, someone should always know what you're doing. Can people be inducted regarding their job descriptions? What is actually your job? Because that will allow you to, focus on your workload and be able to delegate what you need to delegate and be able to allow people to support you as part of, your team. Because I think being a team player is very crucial.
Yeah.
Right? But I think a lot of people are given tasks that are not even in their job description. So they have to do that and their actual job.
True.
So where do we draw the line?
And to answer that, I actually wanna share a real life scenario, right? 2 people, 2 employees, they have the very same job, right? They are junior management, both of them. And we're going down a rabbit hole. but stay with me.
Stay with us. I'm ready.
One travels to work more than 100 kilometers every day, right? So it's 90 to 90 back. Married.
Do they live in a different province?
Yes, in fact,
Oh
yes.
my gosh.
Married, right? Mother of 2. So she's coming back home. She still has homework to do. She's cooking, she's cleaning, all of that, right? All on her. On this end, we have gentleman living alone, travels 10 minutes to work, comes back home, goes to the gym, running, or has more time pretty much on his hands. They have the same work, they have the same workload, same stresses pretty much in terms of workplace stresses. Who is more at risk for burnout?
I think it's difficult to say. You know why?
Yeah.
Both of their lives are because of the life decisions.
Okay.
Right? That one decided to get married. She also decided to live in another province. It's all their decisions. Because I know a lot of workplaces will say, no, but you don't have a husband to go home to. You don't have kids to take care of.
I love where this is going. Yeah.
But also, if my job description says I must be at work from 8 to 5,
Yeah.
anything that I do outside of that is my time. So you can't say, no, you can actually work till 8 because who are you going home to?
Yeah.
Myself, sir. Myself. Oh, ma'am. I don't know why I said so. You know, so I think both. I think both of them.
Perfect.
Could be at risk of, guys, it's not just mothers, and I'm a mother.
Yes, because
But
let me
can I
tell
go
you.
to work and do my job?
Let me tell you who had the burnout.
This
It's
guy.
this gentleman over here, because this gentleman has a perfectionist personality trait. So he wants everything to be perfect.
Sure.
And how did I pick up that? No, something is off here. I got an email at past 2 a.m. in the morning
From him.
from him. And this is just normal work.
So he's not sleeping.
But get this, he's not only sleeping, he's at work. He's at the office
No.
at 2 a.m. in the morning.
Why?
So why are you there? No, because there are things that I need to close before the day starts.
But when is your day has not ended?
That's the thing, because there's so much pressure on both of them. Yes, very high pressure environment. However, this one, because we immediately think, oh, there's a lot happening here, you know, you're busy, and we might be more understanding if she would say, look, I'm burnt out. Come on, we're gonna be like, but you're going home to nobody. Stay a little bit longer. You know, it starts like that. And you agree. You stay till 5, you stay till 6, you stay till 8, then you go home, quickly eat, and you're back at 2 a.m.
No. Maybe you don't even go home and quickly eat, you order in.
Yeah,
your office.
right? And you keep saying it's that thing of you're not establishing the boundary of I'm going home to myself.
But also, I think with him, it's a bit difficult because he is the problem. No one is saying go to work at 2 a.m. in the morning. He is deciding to.
Yeah.
So
because it's an internal issue
rest,
with him. Yeah.
You need to take everything away from him. His laptop, his phone, he needs to just be by himself.
Yeah. But it's that thing of also the inability to delegate. You know, you don't trust anyone. You want the work to be so perfect according to your standards.
I hear that though.
Yeah, you're not gonna say to the juniors, you do that, you do that, you do that. You want everything to be run past you.
That's a lot. Also, it's not your company.
It's not your company.
And I always say, I don't have shares in this hospital. My parents do not own this.
Yeah.
I don't own this.
Yeah.
If something, you know what I always tell my students and my juniors? If you drop dead right now, do you know what's going to happen? There's going to
Tomorrow.
be a memorial picture, ne? And then I always say, everyone's going to take out 5 rands, ne? Your family's going to get 500 rands.
Not my friend, please.
And then they're going to, few people will come to your funeral. Before the month ends, your post will be out.
On that same company
Oh,
intranet.
but the same people that say
As you scroll.
Yes, post. So, now they know, once I clock off, I don't answer work calls. When I see, because I know the hospital number. If I see 8 what?
Mm.
You can't even get me to answer.
And also,
if I get WhatsApps,
yeah.
I don't answer anything. I will go, oh, sure. Okay, I'll find out when I get back to it the next day.
But also, it's that attitude that is going to teach people that no, you can call everybody else except Kgao.
I mean, last resort.
Yeah,
Literally.
We literally teach people how to treat us in the workplace, and some people like me that will still take the work call. I will probably still take work calls until 7 p.m. Then they're like, oh no, okay, so Tshego can take it.
Yeah, till we know from
because they're gonna say Kgao is not gonna answer, but Tshego will. And
you can't even come to me and say, why don't you answer? I'm off the clock. What do you mean? Why are you trying to eat into my lifetime? Does it mean that whoever needs me from home can call me and can I leave when I'm at work?
Go.
So the same should be applied to when I'm at home. Don't steal my home time.
I agree.
So what are the signs? I think let's just circle back.
Let's jump into that, right? The biggest sign is exhaustion. All day, every day, you do not reach a point where you feel active. You are just above sleep. You're actually dragging yourself. You're dragging yourself, but total exhaustion all day, every day, right? And high levels of anxiety, might also be high levels of depression, but you're always so anxious. I haven't closed that deal. I haven't closed that contract. I haven't, finished whatever. Always anxious, right? What else? Agitated. Yeah. Even if it's you're very touchy. Even if I'm just gonna joke with you, I'm like, oh, you look so you agitated. You're like, what?
But also, please don't tell people they look tired. that is so wild. What if I'm just not wearing makeup? Now I look tired. People actually say that you look so tired.
Yeah.
You leave the house.
I mean, especially someone like me who I've got these bags under my eyes, literally all day, every day. So you look, and that time I'm feeling alright, So okay, I get you. Don't tell people they look tired. Okay. I'll note that down because I do that a lot. Anyway, yeah.
But I think you don't realize, right, until it's really late, until it's gone, very close to rock bottom. And I actually am thinking about the things that I tell students, right, as we hear, or people that have just entered the workforce. Because working is very different from varsity. And you see it with these, I don't want to say kids, but the younger generation. When they start working, they are so mind blown that this is what they're going to do forever. They are tired. They're like, we actually thought this would be better than varsity. We are exhausted.
Yeah.
And I literally said to them, it doesn't get better. This is, you must just know
I
that
actually read something the other day from a very young student. Are ke kopa ho resign. You still have 40 years, 40 plus years to go. What do you mean?
Now, please, because what do you mean? And then I look at people retiring. I'm like, so you did this for what?
Yeah. It's you can't fathom it, but as you go, you actually realize how quickly the time goes by. Okay. The other day I was I literally graduated from undergrad 10 years ago. That means I've been running with this for 10 years. Very well. However, very important something that we didn't mention. Constant illness. You're coughing the whole time. You're coming from a cough. 2 days you're back at work, and now you're coughing and sneezing. Now it's a headache. Now it's like you can't just feel healthy. Yeah, because the body is not recovering. It's not getting enough time to recover. It's always functioning on alert states that it doesn't get time to recover. And also, obviously, that also touches on sleep, because you're not sleeping. The entire time you're literally thinking of everything that needs to be closed. And then it never closed. So it's just a cycle that keeps going.
And even when you're not working, you're working because you're thinking about it. I actually had a student say though to another supervisor that she has nightmares, but about the supervisor. To go, yo, ma'am, no, you want a lot from me because even when I'm at home sleeping,
Imagine.
I dream of, and she didn't say I have dreams about this place. She called it a nightmare. As in, I'm suffering in my sleep. That is wild. I think that should be some level of burnout.
Yes.
Because the child is saying,
But you know what I love about the younger generation? They declare everything.
They vocal.
Yeah.
Oh, they vocal.
Yes. So we're gonna know by the time you're actually hitting a state where you are showing more signs. Because unfortunately, that's how it's gonna go, right? It's gonna start with you being off work every 2 weeks. And then now it's gonna be like every 2 days you're off, right? By the time you are showing the signs, we're gonna say, but she did say, you know, versus me, that's millennial, who's always showing up, and I'm known for showing up. And I'm gonna be almost embarrassed to say
You're gonna feel bad.
Yeah. Yes, you're also gonna feel bad. Yeah.
I know with me, if I'm physically sick, I will pitch.
Like, why?
Especially if it's like a Monday or Friday.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, yo, I don't want people to think that I was doing things in the weekend where I would need to justify. But also, when am I justifying being sick on a Monday? Because I am.
Because do you pick when you get sick? You don't get picked.
But I will go to work. I remember there was a time where I picked up a bug. There was a bug going around at my kid's school this year, actually. So I was vomiting at work. I was vomiting at home, and I still went to work. Right? And there's a friend of mine, and our kids go to the same school. And then she's like, yo, Wena, my husband actually has the same symptoms as you. He is vomiting, he's frequenting the bathroom. Yeah. And she was like, so I'm like, oh my gosh, same. And she's like,
and you're right, yeah.
Oh, why? And everyone just said, even my boss said, go home. But I felt validated to go. They saw I was sick. You know what I mean? They saw I was sick, so I don't need to prove that I'm sick. And that is rubbish. They need to do that.
It's a level of toxicity, actually. It's actually quite toxic.
And now it's
I have to go and prove.
But no one is saying you must prove. You are saying you must prove.
So you're the toxic one.
Yes, you're toxic to self. And I know a toxic workplace is definitely part of it.
Yes.
Your load, your workload. And again, sometimes we don't want to seem incompetent, so we don't delegate or ask for help from our team members. Bullying.
Yes. Yeah.
And I know bullying is, I don't know, deemed to be subjective, but it is not. It has a definition.
Definitely.
Off the top of my head, paraphrasing, I know bullying is when you make someone feel humiliated or intimidated, right, for a long period or like for multiple times. So when someone does that to you, that could also cause burnout because it's stressful for you. Yeah. Right? I can't think of.
There's the issue with lack of recognition or being appreciated. Because sometimes, especially if you're the type of person that's a people pleaser, right? You identify this manager as, I want to please that person all day, every day, right? Here you are answering your phone at whatever time of day or night, showing up early in the morning, doing all these things, pushing yourself. And the manager either just keeps piling more onto you or doesn't recognize, or both, obviously, doesn't recognize that you are literally carrying the team on your back. Literally. Yeah, at some point you're just going to be like, okay.
But when you go, then you called in to go, we've realized that, you know, your performance is dropping. So you don't even like me like that. So
why are you worried?
Why are you worried?
Are you worried about the job? Honestly. And that's where then we get this disengagement of, let me stay away. Let me see.
I want to see something. I want to see something. And you know what? I also, okay, I can't really say this like in its true form because it's going to affect the bad. But I know with like I must. I know with your SMEs, like your small companies, and unfortunately, the only like small companies that I've been exposed to are black owned. Ne? Guys, it can't be racism when I'm the same color. So, ne? One, there's no induction. A lot of them don't have induction. Ne? Two, there's parents that are working for their kids' company. There's aunts, ne?
Or the other way around.
Yes, or the other way around.
The parents.
So obviously there will be some level of what is this? When you okay, so when you I don't want to use favoritism.
Okay, but not nepotism.
Preferential
treatment. Preferential treatment.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's say for a lack of you know, but basically favoritism.
Yeah.
Right. That also watching that, knowing that you're working hard, knowing it's bothersome, right? And I remember with a particular company, the people were saying, we have a manager, but the manager's linked to the CEOs. There's two. Yeah. Right? Sure. So I think the mom of one of the CEOs. They were like, that lady's never at work. One. She's running her own business, but she's getting paid as a manager. And she really is, like, on paper, the manager of that department. But now her subordinates are forced to do her job, but they're not getting the rewards. And they're not getting the recognition either, because when it, goes to the right people, it's this person's team. Yeah. Except the person is not part of the team. And I remember when I went there, people were like, we just want to leave. We're tired. We're depressed, right? Or not being able to report something, whether it's workload, extreme workload, or
just general operations.
Workplace, or work-life balance. That was one of the biggest things to go. If I get a text at 4 a.m., I might need to go into the office. But with that, it was the management that was forcing that, right? But you can't even complain because the policies that are in place were made by the people that are abusing you. So even if you say, what, it's
almost like a state of hopelessness.
Yes,
because you're there. Honestly, let's be honest, especially if we are working for the companies with almost no to non-existent policies. Yes, they're there, but they're not enforced. We are there because we are hungry. We need to be looking after our families. You can't just be like, I quit. And you just constantly there having to override all your other unhappiness just to make sure you make the buck at the end of the day, which is painful.
But at what cost?
Mental health and physical health.
And sometimes taking all of that home and destroying even
your social
I know with
spaces.
Me when I'm really tired, I get very short with my son because I feel like he's alone. I'm like, I am not your entire world. Go do anything else. Can you please let me?
You are.
Because I'm exhausted. And when Adala, you're like, ish, just relax yourself. But they're not doing anything different.
No.
You just irritable.
You are just in a different state. Yeah.
So what? Okay, so now I realize I'm burnt out.
Yeah.
Then what?
Number 1. Please declare it. And I'm talking from a space where, like I said, I'm a case manager. The first thing I will get from the manager, but they never said. And this has been going on for months and months, but they never said.
And in the military meeting, where everyone is signed, because people can say,
there we go.
I did not know.
Yeah. So definitely bring it up and declare it, especially when you've hit rock bottom. But in fact, no, let me not even say when you've reached rock. Just if you feel that, I'm exhausted, I'm feeling, work is overloaded now. So if you feel like I'm about to hit rock bottom, declare it. For me, that is the first thing that you would have to do. And then also look inside, because sometimes The issue is inside the house, you know. You might be doing too much. You might not be managing your time correctly. You might be agreeing to take too much. So lack of boundaries,
yes, I
zero
was gonna say
boundaries.
that,
Yeah.
yeah.
So also look to say, am I managing my work life? Well, am I balancing it? You know, I know I always say I hate that work life thing because work is supposed to be part of life, just a little bit. But now we've made work the end all and be all, and then trying to fit life into it. But however, look to say, am I setting the boundaries? Am I taking care of my body?
Sure.
Yeah, so that I can show up as my best self. Taking care of my mental health to show up as my best self. Rest, man. Rest, yeah.
Rest.
And also just have a way to prioritize the work.
Sure.
You know? Yes, because sometimes you can literally, if it's not important, I always say this, use that, is it urgent and is it important? That's what you'll do first. If it is urgent but not important, obviously do it second. If it is not important and not urgent, do it next
You don't
week.
need to finish it today.
Do it next week, you know? So, yeah, but also for the managers, let us have awareness sessions. In fact, play this podcast in your morning meeting. Yeah.
And I think the one thing that I want to add is take your leave days, guys. You know, you get people that go into their next year with their leave days.
Like, why do you have 80 leave days?
You know, and the thing is, you are given leave because you are going to need 22 days in that year to rest. To, you know, just get off the clock, to leave work and just focus on yourself.
Just stop glorifying it.
But guys, let's stop glorifying the hustle culture because we are tired. We are tired, we are burnt out, we are, you know, functioning with, what is this, high functioning depression.
Yeah.
We glorify that. And, you know, like what you said, we live to work. And we don't work to live. Right? So your work is a means to an end. And the end is you living your best life. Living happy, living good. Oh, I feel like I ate. My Gen Z's. Ate, left no crumbs. And I think more than anything, if you are not at your best, you cannot give your best. So pause, pour in, be at your best and give your best. And when you deplete again, you pause again. There's nothing wrong with that. Guys, we're going to be in this workforce for long. Okay, you guys are going to be in the workforce.
Oh, that's not the plan for you?
That's not the plan.
I think as a closing statement for me, I want to say that it's not always possible, but if you can get out of a toxic work environment, if you can afford to, do it. Change the job. Do it. Yeah.
And loyalty doesn't always pay.
No.
You're loyal to you first.
Yeah.
And you're loyal to those that are loyal to you.
Love it.
Okay. Remember to like, subscribe, share, comment.
Comments. Yeah.
Comment. For myself and
the Black Sheep.
goodbye.
Bye.